What's going on, guys? Brian here from Turk Music. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through the Maschine Mikro MKlll and making a beat using Maschine, which is the DAW that comes with the Maschine Mikro MKlll. So let's get going. The Maschine Mikro is a very, very useful, very, very powerful beat making tool. It looks a little daunting at first, but once you play around with it, get the hang of it, it's a very, very useful tool for making beats. So like in FL Studio, you've got your sampler that you use to create different patterns, and then you take all those patterns and you put them onto a playlist, and that's how you create a song. It's pretty similar with Maschine, except there's three things that you need to know. So it's your patterns, which are basically the patterns that you create, and then you've got your groups, which are basically your instruments, your different instrument channels, and then you've got your scenes, which are the different sections of your beat or your song. Those are the three building blocks for creating a beat on Maschine. So let's quickly go ahead and get started. I've got a scene loaded right now. I'm just going to name this scene intro. Okay. And then to create a new scene, all you have to do is press the scene button on your Maschine Mikro and then select a pad, and it creates a scene. See, you can create as many scenes as you want, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to create three scenes. So the first one will be intro, the second one will be main, let's say main, the main part of the song, and then I'm going to create a third scene, which will be my outro or ending. So I'm just going to call it outro. So I can switch through the three scenes using the pads on the Maschine Mikro, as long as scene is selected here, or section is selected. Okay, now that I have my scenes, I can now create a pattern. To load your sounds, you're gonna press this browse button over here, and it brings up your sounds here on the side. And as you scroll through the sounds, you can actually audition them before you load them. So I'm just gonna scroll through a couple. Okay, so those are some of the sounds. If you hear a sound that you like, a kit that you like, you just press Shift and this star button, and it creates a favorites list for you. And if you want to go to your favorites, you just press the star button and it shows you all your favorites. I have a couple of favorites here that I've saved for this video. So let's load a kit. I'm going to load two kits. I'm going to start with Sky Kit, which is this one, and I'm going to go load Yellow Kit, which is the one I want to use for the outro. Okay, so my kit is loaded. I just press the encoder button here and it loads the kit. There's my kit. So now let's create an intro, right? I'm going to start by putting down a pattern 1, which will be my drums. I'm just going to rename that and say intro drum. You don't have to name everything, but I find it easier to name the stuff so that I can, easily know what pattern that is, instead of it just saying pattern 1 or pattern 2 or whatever. Okay, I'm going to start by putting in a kick. So I just press Shift Record. Shift Record gives you a 4 beat count before it starts recording. So it gives you some time to prepare yourself. So I actually forgot to set the tempo for my song and set it at 125. Okay, once you set the tempo, Shift and then metronome. That switches on the metronome. Okay. Shift pad 5 is quantize. Just flips everything, puts it into place. And let's listen to that. Cool. So I've only got 2 bars. That beat only goes to 2 bars. I just did 2 bars because it repeats over and over again. So if I want to extend that, I just press Shift and duplicate. And it makes it 4 bars. And I can just shift and duplicate. And we have 8 bars now. That's the length of those kicks. Now I'm going to add the shaker. And the shaker is going to actually... Let's do a hi-hat, and then the shaker comes in a bit later. So, hi-hat. 1. Okay. Quantize that. So now I've added my hi-hat. Now I want to add the shaker. Maybe like halfway through the pattern. So I'm just going to press record and start. Okay, added my shaker, and I think that should be it for the intro, for the drums, that is. So now I want to add that chord, okay? I'm going to say group, create another group, all right? I'm going to load the same kit, okay? Now I want to add that chord. So I'm going to say keyboard mode. Keyboard mode basically allows me to play that single instrument melodically. You can go in and edit and actually change scale, change the key and all those things, but I don't need to do that. I'm just going to use it as it is. Okay, let's record that in. Okay, I think that's cool. And I think let's just leave it at that for now. That pattern is going to be called chord. Okay, cool. We're done with the intro. Now we're moving on to the main part of the song. I'm going to start by recording the chord pattern. Okay, quantize that. Percussions. Okay. Okay, let's quantize that. Add a hi-hat. Quantize that. Okay, let's add like a snare now. You'll notice that I just carried on recording while the beat was playing. So as long as the beat is playing and you press record, you can add stuff. You switch off the record and then you can just check what else you want to add before you record again. So let's add that vocal. want to add a piano, so I'm gonna say group, create a group there, and then I'm gonna add the piano from the yellow kit. Okay, that's loaded. There's my piano. Okay. Okay, I think that sounds cool. Let's record that. Okay, quantize that. I think that's fine. And let's move on to the outro. Scene, outro. So in the outro, I'm gonna use this kit. Okay, that's cool. Quantize that. See what that sounds. I think that's cool. Actually, let me put that hit instead. You'll notice I stopped naming in the interest of time, but it's always cool to name your patterns so that you know what they are. Now we want to put different scenes into a song so we can hear how it sounds. You just go click here. It goes from scene mode to idea mode. This is where you're going to place your different scenes to create a full song. Right click, say append intro. So this is our intro. You can extend that for as long as you want, for however many bars you want. You can shorten it. It's all up to you. Next is our main part. That's the main. I want it to play for 8 bars. The final part is the outro, which is going to play for 8 bars. I think that's fine. Okay, so that's our full song. Let's quickly play it and hear how it sounds. Cool, that's the whole song. Yeah, that's pretty much how you make a song. I did a very quick thing, put it together so we could just get through each of the different things that you need to do to create a full song.